I'm David, marketing guy at Garda. Today, we have a special guest, Adil Elias from FIO Protocol. Hi, Adil. How are you?
Hey, I'm great. How are you?
Everything is fine. Welcome to the Fireside Chat. So I'm excited that we get a chance to talk about all things crypto, Web3, and FIO, of course. So, Adil, can you introduce yourself and tell us more about your background?
Yeah, sure thing. But first of all, thank you and entire Garda team for inviting us. So my crypto journey starts like a long time ago. A little bit. Well, it depends. In 2012, I heard about Bitcoin for the first time. 2011, sorry. And then 2012, I met a Spanish guy in Rio, and he tells me that he wrote something, like that, like friend of mine, like hurts a little bit. So I read it, and it was the translation would be, like it's never easy to be pioneer. So he was talking how he read about Bitcoin in 2010, and then it was like almost 2012, and he didn't buy anything. It was 2011, and then it's too late. We missed the train, and that like hurt me like so deep. And then I started like buying Bitcoin there. I got Mount Gox, but in 2014, I wrote an article called "Can the Blockchain Change the World?" In Rio. I was living in Rio at the time. Now I live in southern Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
I met this Suzanne Tomprowski Tempelhof, which had back then Ethereum smart contracts company called the BitNation, which is like everybody should be like a nation. And the first even marriage of the blockchain was registered. And this is where I thought like, okay, so the blockchain is the future. Funny thing is, in that article, I was thinking perhaps not in my lifetime, but someday in the future we will have, like social media on the blockchain, this and that. That was 2014. 2016, I joined Steemit. Steemit.com is the first ever Web3 company. It's like social media, but
Mm-hmm.
in the blockchain. And I ran the first book club with Neil Strauss, the author. We had like two book clubs, number one, number two. And then from Steemit, I took a year off, or like 2 years off, something like that. And then I joined FIO. And I joined FIO because when I was reading, like some documentation, believe it or not, like what attracted my attention was a sentence that somebody said. I don't even know who wrote it. Like still now I don't know, because FIO makes addresses like very user friendly. So imagine when people in poor countries in Africa, and we see that in Salvador, starting to use crypto, we need to remove the complication. There's some poor countries in the world where there's like a lot of people that cannot even read. So we have to make it as easy for them to use crypto products. So I agree with the mission that like we need to make crypto products like easier for everybody to use. And yeah, there's like short run, like rundown of my background in crypto, and I tend to ramble for a long time, so I kept it short.
All right. So I don't want this to be just another, boring AMA session. It's a fireside chat after all. So let's just pretend that there is someone in the audience who just discovered, the crypto space. So they got their Garda wallet set up, and now they're thinking about getting a FIO crypto handle. So why should they do it? I know the answer, but they might not. So how would you answer that question?
Yeah, because especially now, like I'm gonna like talk about the like both things. One of them is the universality. So for example, imagine you have a client, have a user, you have a community member that have like a Garda wallet, and then they have like their friend or brother or sister who also have that. So imagine like they want to transfer between each other, like Bitcoin, then tomorrow Ethereum, then the next day Solana. Instead of like, hey, what's your address? Hey, what's your address? Like you can just like send it, for example, to David at Garda, and then I don't need to ask you, hey, what's your AVAX, address? Like it just like goes straight. Same thing with networks. A lot of people use money in sending it to the wrong network, and for a lot of people, like it happens to a friend of mine. Like first time she got her Ethereum address, she was like saying to me, wait, why is there so many networks? So these are things that makes usability is very easy. I think the best analogy I could give is imagine if like somebody has, like, I don't know, like HSBC Bank, and other one also has HSBC. It could be a different bank. Back in before PayPal, before Venmo, before like all these solutions, we have to ask for the bank the IBAN number, the name of the person that holds it, and you have like to type in like a lot of information. When PayPal came in, you just like send in, like the phone number, the email, wherever, like Venmo, like you just like use one handle. Same thing with FIO. We just like our our Web3 domains and handles are just like human readable key.
All right. And what about FIO tokens? Because that's something else, a person is
Yeah.
just entering the space would probably read about and they would be curious. So what is the difference between the actual crypto handles and the FIO tokens?
Absolutely. So the crypto handles and domains, so that's FIO protocol. It's just like usability protocol. So for example, if somebody like sends you Bitcoin using FIO, like for example, I send some Bitcoin, Adil at Garda to David at Garda, you can check that transaction in the Bitcoin block explorer. Same thing if it's Ethereum, same thing, you have to go to like the chains. So we are just like a layer 2 on top of the tokens, and we send them. So we don't actually interfere. The FIO token like is different. Like we have our own token. Like for example, Solana has their own token, or like how do I say? Like so imagine some people are minting NFTs on the Polygon network, right? But at the same time, there is the Polygon token. So it's like two different things. One of them is the usability layer that makes using crypto so easy and has many functionalities like NFT signatures, FIO requests. And the other one, is it's a token. So the token is just like, so basically at some level, the token is also like store of value or like reflecting the value of a project. Like whenever there's some project that succeeds, the value go up. Like we can see it even with the tokens with limited or no usability. Like for example, like the dog tokens and some of those. The more people like get in there, there's like two ways. One of them is the perceived value. People think that these tokens are valuable, and fair enough, the token goes up. Other one is if the project solves problems. So the more users like arrive, the more the value of the token goes up.
All right. And what about the real world use cases for the FIO protocol that you find exciting? So outside of the actual wallet ecosystem, if that makes sense. So sending crypto, receiving crypto. So what else can a person do with the FIO crypto handle?
So we have multiple functionalities. One of them is like, for example, FIO NFT signatures. So you have your NFT, doesn't matter which chain you use to mint your NFT, and then you can sign it in a minute. Like for example, we have like some problems in the NFT world, which is like according to OpenSea, 80% of their volume is like forgeries and copies. So what happens in the market now is that there's like all these big brands like Louis Vuitton, Adidas, Nike, they're trying to get into like Web3. But the problem is their NFT, like people can copy it and then there's like no value. So normally how these things are handled is like you talk with the human resources and they assign you a person and the person actually like authentifies it. It's like done by humans. But we think that like blockchain problems require blockchain solutions. So we have a tool where you can sign your NFT in a second and it goes in the blockchain and in the hash, it appears under your name. Because, like the hackers, the thieves and everything, nowadays, they're not going to wait like so long to copy it. Because, like we live in 2023. You write one wrong comment on Twitter, people are going to screenshot it and post it forever. So like these things should be like instantaneous on the blockchain with like one slide of the button, NFT is stored. So yeah, so the NFT world and the Web3 world is dealing with these problems right now. There are threats to adoption, and we solve them via technology.
All right. And since we're talking about FIO crypto handles, I should probably mention that we are here to celebrate the 1 million registrations, right? So what was your reaction when you realized that 1 million people actually claimed the FIO crypto handles?
Well, happiness, it just like shows you like that, like it's like milestones. These milestones, like you have to celebrate them. And I want to say thank you, like for helping us celebrate. Thank you to the entire Garda team for helping and celebrating with us, because we could not have done it without you. Like all our partners and our community, it's just, I don't know, it's just like such a special number when we have like, like the first million. So it means like it's not a small number. We've been like in 900 like in the last month. So like it was clear we will get there, but still it's like we were just like waiting for it. And we're sending each other as a team. Like now it's 99997, 9998, and then it went like from 8 quickly to a million. It was awesome.
Oh, absolutely. And I do have to say, on the behalf of the Garda team, we thank you for inviting us. And it's always a pleasure to work with the FIO team. So with you, Maria, Wayne, and yeah, it's great that you recognize the milestones and you organize the events. I'm sure some of the listeners probably attended the Twitter space that you hosted the other day. What'd you think about it, by the way?
The Twitter space.
Yeah.
I was very grateful that like so many people joined us and helped us celebrate. And I love, as I was saying, like as I was hosting, like I wanted, first thing I said, like, and just dawned on me like back then, Wayne told me, hey, so what's the plan for today? And I said, like, we have to give a platform for everybody to introduce themselves, because perhaps like, there's some partnerships that could arise in between, like meeting each other in those spaces. Some companies solve problems with each other, some win-wins that could happen. Like, and as I said, I remember like in the spaces, I remember that I said that Arnold Schwarzenegger, when he was the strongest man alive, he says, I'm not a self-made man. I stood on the shoulders of giants. And he was like saying how when he started, like he was like in a house that has like no furniture, and people from his gym, they brought him cutlery, plates, pillows, covers. And without that, like he would never made it like where he is. So it's the same thing. That's what you think about when you get into like a million users. Like you have to thank everybody that helps you there. And because, like all our philosophy and business model is based on win-win. Like we have with all partners split revenue share. We have rev share model with affiliate marketing, and everything is like our affiliate marketing is 50%. It's like a perfect win-win. It's not like 10% or like 4% as people do, because, there's like two ways you go in life, win-win or win-lose, which is like zero-sum game. So when there's like happiness like that, you have to share the happiness and try to give back,
Absolutely. Yeah, it's great that you guys do that. Not everyone understands that. So, what do you do at FIO? So you're the marketing growth and business development specialist, right? So
yeah, and also I'm the lead of. We branched out to Latin America as well, so I'm the head of FIO Latam. So it's basically everything: business development, marketing, growth, campaigns. Like relationship with partners. We're a very interactive company. So yeah.
You mentioned Latin America. So what is the situation over there in terms of, crypto adoption? Because we do see quite a bit of interest.
So fast. Yeah. Crypto adoption, especially Argentina, Brazil, Colombia, and like some places like El Salvador, which is like much even bigger because like so here, for example, I live in a city called Florianopolis. It's an island, and we have these festivals called Floripa Crypto Day, Floripa Crypto Day 2, that like FIO organizes. And in one of them, one of our friends, like he has a company called Swapix, like they have 11 million users. So basically, you send money to start, like Central Bank of Brazil have an app called Pix, which is like Venmo. Like you send money to like phone number, nickname, something like that. So Swapix is to send crypto, it swaps it to like somebody's Venmo. So these guys, they announced in our conference that they launched in 24,000 ATMs where you can like deposit and withdraw. So the same ATMs that like you withdraw cash, you have the ability to buy crypto or like, or transfer it. We have multiple of the big like Banco de Brazil has 65 million users, and they accepted crypto now through a company called BitFi, like local company. Congrats to them. There's another bank called New Bank. They have like Ethereum, USDT. Like adoption is growing like so fast. And in last year, for example, where the market was down, the year 2022, NFT purchases tripled in Brazil. So despite there's a bear market, there is not a bear market in Latin America. There's like it's like the wave adoption is just starting, I think the best analogy I can give it like Facebook. Facebook started in some countries way before the others. So like I remember because I was living in Spain back then, like people were saying that in Korea there's this app called Facebook, American app, who's like like have so many users in India and everything. So the wave hits different places. The Web3 wave especially is hitting here. But yeah, the government is very interested in crypto, building crypto. So, for example, like to just give you a few examples, like let's say the Secretary of Technology here, like in the island. So they have this huge thing called Akate, which is basically there's restaurants, there's cafes, and there's buildings. So anybody that has an idea to build into technology or crypto, you can bring your laptop or even like use one of their computers, work for free. Like you have everything you need, in there to like build your idea, even if you have nothing. And there's of course VC funds that do the same, but like they provide much more like resources. Like if you want to travel and connect with people, if you want, they have like like top of the food chain technology, like computers, mining gear, and everything. So you can go there with nothing if you have like a solid idea, but they get like 10% equity. They get equity in your company. So like people here, like starting from zero, they can build in crypto. So it's like really not minuscule at all. Like, and you saw like in Argentina when they did like the Bitcoin conference, the crypto conference is in there, blockchain Buenos Aires, and all these things like are massive. Blockchain Rio is massive as well. Yeah, the crypto scene is really, really big.
So, Adil, what do you think about crypto regulation? So you think it's something that just has to happen at some point, or it's still a long way to go? In some markets.
It depends, because every time you have a regulation, because this is like a subject's very like dicey to touch upon. Every time you have regulation, you have like somebody who has money to like bribe the politicians to like put it that way. I mean, like just before FTX collapsed, so they were trying to like strong arm, like certain projects like to fail basically. I'm not gonna, allegedly. So
Right.
yeah, regulation is like a subject that like you never know if it's good or if it's bad. Some regulations are good, some regulation is bad. It's like you never know where it lands. It's like Russian roulette. Yeah,
That's a good point, actually. So
it's necessary in some places, but like it's not like no regulation like the wild west. Just depends on which regulation.
and it's important that the people, the decision makers, actually understand what they're doing, and I think that's the priority. At least they have to study the matter and make sure they're helping people and not stopping the technology from developing into something greater. In the FTX situation, I have to ask you, what do you think is going to happen? Will it affect the crypto industry even more, or we're
So these
past
are
that
obviously
station?
my thoughts, not the company, but I think like the damage is done. I don't think that can affect the crypto market like much more. Like they already did, but like the market's recovering as we're seeing. Yeah, there could be other projects, other big projects that could cause like some similar damage in the future. Like same thing when the Luna crashed, and it's just like part of it when you think about it. Like I remember like in 2015, the end of 2015 when China banned mining and Bitcoin dropped from like 1,000 to like I think 750. Yeah, everybody was saying that's it. Bitcoin is dead. Bitcoin is dead. Like all my friends that were just coming into Bitcoin, I kept every time they tell me, "Hey, sell your Bitcoin." Like they send me an article from like I don't know, like legacy media. I just like send them the same websites, Bitcoin arbitraries, Bitcoin arbitraries. Like leave me alone. It's not dying. This like, and since then, like I don't know how many deaths the market has. So like in the law, if you zoom out, like from our situation, what we feel right now, the FTX thing, like it's past. There can be other FTXs,
Right.
but yeah.
Okay. My next question is about the community. So how would you describe the FIO community? And correct me if I'm wrong, but I was under the impression that you guys value educational content and just sharing that with the crypto community. I'll give you an example. So not too long ago, I was working on the Learn and Earn campaign with your team, and it was quite successful. So what is your vision like, since you are in charge of marketing in a way? So what does the FIO community like?
So you're right about that. And we did, like, for example, like some courses with, like Learnverse, Learn
Mm-hmm.
Vault. We think that education is important because this is like a new world we're stepping in. And generally, like whenever like people go to like something new, they have this fear, it's like, it doesn't have to be technology, like anything that is new.
Mm-hmm.
Like you need like somebody to give, like information, like knowledge is something that is very important. So let me give you like an example. So like fear is like darkness always. This is why people, like when they fear something, they run away. So they say that like you can go to a dark room and then you take just like one candle and then lights up the entire room, but you can never take like a bottle of darkness into a sunny day in the park and darken it. So like knowledge in general in life, it's great against fear. Fear is just like an emotion that we have to surpass, and sometimes success is on the other side of fear. So with blockchain technology that solves like so many problems, it is no different. Like success, progress, solving problems for humanity is always on the other side of fear, and that means only knowledge like dissipates it. So we try to like give back by explaining certain concepts and everything. And because in crypto, as you know, like people who came like at a certain point, they only know NFTs. Now people only know metaverses. Some people, a lot of people don't know the original story of Satoshi, why things
Mm-hmm.
came, how the story developed. Then came Ethereum, smart contracts, and also like it opens like all the possibilities. Perhaps somebody like is a dev in certain fields and they didn't even know like those possibilities were there. So yeah, we're just trying to give back because we think education is very important.
Yeah, I think that's a great sign. It shows that you care about, the process, you care about the results, and the crypto community in general. So, speaking of education, how would you describe or define, should I say, the term Web3? Because, metaverse and Web3, that's something people talk so much about. So, how would you describe it to someone who's just entering the space?
So Web3
Yeah.
is basically the internet on the blockchain. Like for example, there's like social media on Web3. Like for example, in Cosmos they have, I think, Desmos. They have in Juno Loop, which was back then it was called the Tribe in AOS. There's Hive.blog. So like you can, for example, like have this use case. There's also like for example Metaverse, which is like gaming on the blockchain. There is like NFT, which is like collectibles. It could be as like ticketing. It could be used like has so many useful ways in the blockchain. So basically, we just go and I explain differences between Web 2 and Web 3. Now, like for example, like your identity, like is just like tied to like whatever profile you put there. But then on the in Web 3, it can be like your wallet. Through your wallet, let's say in MetaMask, you can interact with other communities, games, NFT platforms. So Web3 is like the user have control of their identity, and they have control as well, like of their funds, of their wallets.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And what about the metaverse?
So metaverse is, so let's say there's a game, right? Like The Sims. So you buy this
Mm-hmm.
house and like you play with it, but it doesn't have like actual, like in the metaverse differently. Like you can go to, let's say, to Upland or like Decentraland. You buy a house in Upland in this neighborhood. So that house is yours and it's like on the blockchain, registered under your wallet, and nobody can take that from you because like it's the blockchain in the end is just like an incorruptible ledger of information. So it's like the same as a game, but like you have all the control of your property that you paid money to buy. Then I'm not gonna like give any names, but imagine hypothetically a Web2 game,
Mm-hmm.
and then you buy these skins, you buy this, like
Right.
clothes, you buy even property, you pay money for users to play. But the game company, like like something happens, or like that money is not actually yours. Like on the blockchain in the metaverse, that is yours. Like it's already registered, like on the blockchain that like this person from this account, you can check it in the block explorer, can check the hash, like that house belongs to you. So I think this is the difference between the two.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And what about?
Web 5?
No, not yet. Not yet. Not
Okay.
ready to talk about that. Maybe next time, but I have to do some homework. Yeah. Um, what about partnerships? Anything you'd like to mention and tell the audience about? Something that already happened, or you thinking about launching soon at FIO?
So we've been blessed to have like some amazing partners, like for example, like especially Opera, especially Garda, especially like Edge Wallet, like and RNFTs on chain, like is like the new one. We have like so many, like I don't want to like miss anybody.
Right.
Altera, Reveal. We have like so many like amazing partners. Some of them, for example, like Reveal, it's like security-based company like in for the blockchain. Altera, for example, is like a game. Like on-chain is an EVM, like virtual machine. Garda is a wallet. Like Binance, for example, is an exchange. So we have our NFTs, NFT platform. So we have like partners in different fields of the industry because like our idea is like to make life easier for the platforms, for the users, to make the usability better, and we just can't do it without our like our partners, because it's life. In life, like you never do it alone. Like together
Oh,
we can do
absolutely.
something.
Mm-hmm. All right. And what's next for FIO? Uh, in your opinion, how do you see it? What would be the next big step for FIO protocol?
So the way I see it is like we're above all an interoperability protocol. So like the HTTP, before the HTTP protocol, like you used to type like the entire IP address and then to go to a website. Now you just like type like Amazon and type eBay and then you go straight to the website. That's like gives usability. So we think there's a time, or I think personally, where the same thing will happen. People are going to be tired, especially like now when the bull markets, comes, and there's all these new tokens again, like popping up, and the value is going up. And many of those, they have like actual usability. Like they could be games, they could be like smart contract, they could be fashion. So instead of like every time what's your address, and type it, they use a human readable address. The other part is like interoperability. So like back like a long time ago, like you had to join like the same server to talk with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to join like when like with Merck, MRC like came in, you have to join the server of New York to talk only about with people from New York. If you want to talk somebody like in Mexico City, you have like to join servers. Like now, like I think the best analogy is if you want to like use OpenSea, you need MetaMask. If you want to use something in Cosmos, you need like Kepler wallet. If you want to use play a game, let's say Upland in EOS, you need like for example Wombat wallet. So the same thing was back then. But then internet became interconnected, and you're in Facebook. I can speak to you. I'm in Brazil. You're, I assume, in the United States right now. Yeah,
Europe, that would be, yeah.
yeah. So you can talk with somebody from India, can speak with somebody from Hong Kong. They don't need to join like the same server. So this is what I think the future for FIO is like. Adoption grows, and then people realize that like the future is cross chain. This is like what I think. And the
Mm-hmm.
same thing that happened with internet, like history will repeat itself. And yeah, I think we can help a lot of people communicate with each other and make their crypto experience very easy.
And get connected, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Cuban Nerd joined. Hi, Jixie. Jixie's our community
Hi.
manager. Yeah. Congrats, FIO team. Keep up the good work. 1 million FIO crypto handles. Yeah. Congratulations. So, I do have to ask you about something we talked about during the space. So, content that would be. What do you think about memes as a tool to connect to your audience? So, would that be something that companies should use more, or it's a serious topic and they better stay away from it?
No, I think it's something that all companies should use more, because memes is a way of communication that like condenses like information into like something into small text or picture. And also like it's fun, it's funny, we're in a time where people like have a lot of options. So like that causes people to not like pay too much attention to like long blog, or like some people do. Some people prefer like some short information. This is why like Instagram Reels and like YouTube Shorts like are doing so well, because now people like everything condensed and nice. And memes are fun. Anything that gives people like the ability to laugh, the ability to smile a little bit. Because when they say like, hey, don't judge people, everybody has like some fight in some battle you know nothing about. So I think people deserve like a little bit of happiness, a little bit of laughter. And I think like any message like that you give, if you can make it in a way that's creates a positive emotion in a person, then why not? That being said, I'm not like saying using memes like to attack other people or like to
Right.
make people feel bad, or I'm only talking about positive emotions and positive things.
And not forget about empathy when you using memes, right? Not to hurt anyone. Okay, and what about again, just different platforms? You mentioned YouTube Shorts, right? So, what do you guys use the most? Where can people learn more about FIO? I know you guys have a Twitter account. Is there any other platform that you'd like to
Yeah,
mention?
we're in Instagram. We make like some fun videos in Instagram because it's
Do
different
you?
each platform. Yeah, we do. It's Join FIO. You
Okay.
find like good sketches. Everything there is like nice presented. We have this amazing content creator called Ren. She's brilliant. She has like 4 million followers, I think, in TikTok.
Wow.
So she makes like this. Yeah, she takes this complex word like crypto and makes it more fun. We have something similar, but like much more like professional and formal in LinkedIn. Another content creator, Anastasia. We have, of course, Wayne. That like he's the head of BD.
I met
But
Wayne.
yeah, he makes like great videos. Like he explains certain concept, like certain educational things in a great manner. And Chelsea as well does the same. But Chelsea also does on top of that like guides, like how to like sign your NFT, or like how to use your FIO in Ledger Nano, or like in Garda, or like so. We have different type of contents depending on each type of a platform. So we're on Medium, Telegram, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn.
So pretty much
Facebook.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, and well, I'm curious. TikTok, how would you define this space? Is it different from Twitter in terms of how people engage with the actual content? Because I don't know much about TikTok.
Yeah. So Twitter, people engage much more because it's a platform where there's like a lot of crypto adoption. In Instagram, much less so. For example, every time when I try to tag a partner, a lot of the partners, a lot of the companies, even the big companies, they don't have an Instagram account or TikTok account. But in Twitter, crypto Twitter is pretty big. So it's much more easy to interact. And a lot of people like go there for, like crypto content, to consume crypto content. In Instagram, only the people that are interested, they follow you. So Twitter is a place like where people merge, because in the feed, like it shows. Instagram more like pictures and fun. It's not like growing like that much. Or TikTok is like even less. So I'd say number one is TikTok. Number two, I'd say LinkedIn.
Really?
LinkedIn is growing like quite a bit in people talking about crypto.
Okay, but I bet you don't publish
Not as
memes.
much as AI, but
But you don't publish memes on LinkedIn, right?
no, it's
Right.
much more professional. That's why like our videos in LinkedIn are much different type of videos, like more formal, more
And what about Twitter Spaces again? Because
Twitter Spaces is a great tool because it gives a voice for people. Like we can open the floor like at the end for like talking. So Twitter Spaces is a great way. It's like normal conversation. Everybody can jump in and listen in. People can be like sitting in their coffee. Like for example, ordinals just came in, like in the NFTs in Bitcoin. And some partners on chains and NFTs, they say, hey, Adil, let's go explain the concept to people. And then we go, and then, like we have a fun conversation. And, Osman, the CEO of OnChain, was like saying, okay, let's explain it to people like we're 5 years old,
Exactly.
And then
that's what I usually do.
Yeah, it's a great tool because it's like free form. This is why it's awesome.
I agree. Twitter Spaces is great when it works, but it doesn't always
exactly.
work. So yeah.
So Elon Musk, if you're watching this, please fix the Twitter Spaces.
Soon,
No,
sooner than later, right?
yeah, for sure.
Okay. My next question is about just your approach. So again, we have someone who just entered the space, the Web3 space. They set up the Garda wallet. They have the FIO crypto handle now. What should they do next? So what would be the best way or the proper way to get yourself more comfortable in the crypto space? Any advice that you would give to that person?
So yeah, first of all, it depends on the person's interest. Like, let's say somebody like is into writing, is a
Mm-hmm.
writer, enters the crypto space. So I'd encourage them to go to all the social media platforms on the blockchain. Like as I said, like there's like a bunch of them. Each chain has their own, and like start meeting people. Like everybody has a Discord, has a Telegram, or like they have like their own like chat servers, and then make friends. Publish your content. They can also like publish content as NFTs and join like a certain community if they want. And more, number one, I'd recommend is always learn security, how to protect your funds, how to
That's what.
yeah. And then after that, like I would recommend them like to connect with people and join like the field of interest. Like for example, gamers, recommend them to go to metaverse games, compare them, like play, communicate with others, and like all of these things. It's basically blockchain is just like the next step of the internet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm glad that you mentioned security. Yeah, getting a non-custodial wallet, Garda would be the
Yeah,
example of that.
exactly.
Is probably one of the best options there is.
Yeah.
Ledger, connecting a ledger to Garda, that's another great option. So, what do you do, by the way, when you interact with crypto and NFTs? Do you use hardware wallets at all?
Yeah. So I
Mhm.
use hardware wallets. I have actually Garda. I have like some. So I have some non-custodial wallets like
Mhm.
Garda, Edge, and Exodus.
Mhm.
I have hardware, and I have like some exchanges because sometimes like there's some tokens you want, and they only exist in exchanges. Of course, you can use, for example, Trust Wallet, Uniswap, and then find it. But sometimes the easier way is just like use exchanges, and exchanges like Binance are user friendly.
Right.
Like you can, yeah. But mostly, yeah, it's either custodial wallets or hard wallets.
All right.
I mean,
I did
non-custodial, not custodial.
non-custodial. Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just something that I talk about. Most of the time. What about the actual events? Because this is the season, when so many different conferences, take place.
Yeah.
So, will FIO be present at any of the venues?
Well, yeah, NFT LA.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have Wayne, Chelsea, and Micah like going there. I think Emily as well from our team. And we have several events. I can't say from the top of my head like which ones for sure, but like yeah, multiple. Let's say most of the events in the United States, our team is going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Some in Puerto Rico, which are like smaller, and in Brazil, we're going to be in Blockchain Rio and Blockchain Sao Paulo, which is like two big events. And we organize like our own events. For example, it's called FIO Crypto Day.
Mm-hmm.
So we had like 1, 2, and we're making the third. And we have like some big companies that like were there, like being crypto, the
Oh yeah.
magazine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were in our event. Animal Concerts, which do like concerts with like Snoop Dogg and everything. We have, as I said, like SmartPay, which is a company that like payment processor here in Brazil, like with 11 million users. So we have multiple like interesting companies. Like in the past editions, we have Bitrefill, we had Easy Crypto. So yeah, events are good, whether to attend or organize your own. I'd say to everybody should start because we have like crypto week, weekly crypto meetups every single week. So I'd say anybody that's like is interested into crypto, they should like join events or meetups or even start making their own. Of course, it starts small,
Mm-hmm.
and then like after that, like it keeps growing. Like I think our first meetup was 50 people, and we got
Which is
like 50
not too
wallets
bad at all.
handles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we were surprised that it was like in the first one, but then it kept growing. Of course, like everything in life, it goes up and down, right? But like in the first event, we had like, I think, I don't know how many, like 300 and something, 300. Yeah,
All right.
yeah, because so little by little, always, like just like 6 months later, this is how snowballs always work.
Mm-hmm. So I got to ask you, Adil, what is the next milestone for FIO in your timeline, at least?
So we're building something. We have like multiple functionalities, and we're building something like called like gamer tags. So, for
Okay.
example, for gamers, remember the problem I told you before that like we face if somebody like wants to use this NFT platform on this chain or that chain or like social media, you have to create an account in a wallet, like extension, like with each blockchain. So with the games, it's the same, but we're building a solution which with the same identity, with the same gamer tag, like you call yourself, I don't know, like I don't know, Moon Blaster, wherever,
Okay.
Moon Rockets, like so we can use the same account to play in any game in the metaverse without having to open, like another one. So this is like our next big thing we're building, because we build like some solutions in the market, like NFT signatures that solves the problem, human readable wallets that like are completely interoperable. We launched our dashboard, which is, imagine if you have like a Coinbase, like we are not in Coinbase yet.
Mm-hmm.
But if somebody has Coinbase, want to use FIO, they just like go to the dashboard, they click link, and they can link their wallet to Coinbase, like map it. So next time they meet somebody and say, hey, like, can I send you some crypto? Like you say, yeah, here's my username. And you send it like to that person, and it goes to Coinbase, even though we're not integrated into Coinbase. So like we're building like these solutions, and this is like the next big solution we're building right now.
That's interesting. And do you think the major players, such as Steam, for example, are going to enter the space at some point, or they're just
Yes,
going to ignore it for as long as possible?
100% they will.
Really? Why do you think so?
Because like I can see it just like here in a regional scene, like here in Brazil, like everybody is entering blockchain. Everybody,
Like
all
local companies or just global ones?
No, I'm talking about like big local companies.
Okay.
Like for example, the Amazon of Brazil, or like for example, the Walmart of Brazil, or like like all these things. Everybody, the banks, real estate giants, like everything. Everybody's like joining, and the same thing will be there. So there, when it arrives adoption to a point where everybody's joining, people don't want to miss out. So like they see that their models, when there's enough, like metaverse games that have traction, people at Steam are not gonna think, okay, I'm gonna miss out on that. Or perhaps they do, like Blockbuster, they got the opportunity to buy Netflix at 15 million. And then they refused. They thought that no, like people are never gonna like stop coming and renting movies, something like that. Nobody wants to watch movies from their home. And they were wrong, because everybody's watching from their phone, so like it could be. In my opinion, they shouldn't, but like, yeah,
They
I highly doubt
shouldn't, you said?
they shouldn't miss out. Like
Oh,
Steam,
okay.
yeah, should not do the Netflix mistake. I think they should just like come into blockchain.
It's just a matter of when they do it, whether it's going to be early on or too late, because that's a possibility as well. All right.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Adil, do you have anything else you'd like to share with the audience before we
No,
wrap it
just
up?
want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to all our community members, first of all, the users, all our partners, and to the entire crypto community, no matter which project like you work at, we're all in this together. Like we're in a space that just like building for the future, trying to build a bigger world. And I hope there's less tribalism and more working together. Yeah. And thank you for having us.
Oh, yeah, I'm glad you said that. So, yeah, community first, and I have to thank Maria for helping organize everything. The Learn and Earn campaigns, the AMA sessions, the Fireside Chats. A shout out to Rena, my colleague, then community managers, and then Tina. So yeah, Adil, thank you so much. It was a great chat, and I think we should definitely distribute some of the clips on social media and see if people like
We
them.
will.
Okay, it was a pleasure, and I'll see you next time.
Pleasure is mine. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Bye bye.
Bye.